Now paramedics pumped Jessie with painkillers, sped her to hospital, and prayed this massive trauma wouldn't kickstart her contractions.
You know, you worry about your water breaking, or all kinds of things can happen when you're upset and that pregnant.
As our heavily pregnant patient was wheeled into hospital, trauma specialists were confronted with a bizarre ER double whammy. A terrible impalement that was putting 2 lives at stake in one body.
This was a combined blunt and penetrating trauma, and with a little added flavoring of a full-term pregnancy as well.
As these photos show, though the pole had missed the actual baby, its proximity to Jessie's major organs meant she could easily be suffering from a lethal internal bleed.
Quite concerned that this may have partially injured or cut the heart, and that had very substantial implications, especially with a fetus in womb still.
Surgically speaking, it was the perfect storm. Critical injuries, potential heart damage, and with that fetus at risk, 2 patients in danger of death. What's more, the physical stress Jessie was under could induce premature labour at any point. So, as trauma surgeons scrubbed up for theatre, they were also joined by an army of obstetricians in case an emergency C-section was required.
We had the equipment for operating on the heart, we had equipment for operating on the aorta, we had equipment for doing a cesarean section, for opening her abdomen and fixing abdominal organ injuries. We had a OB team as well as myself. We also had neonatologists available to take care of the baby, multiple operative teams available so that we can conduct multiple operations at once if necessary.
Now, surgeons delicately inserted tiny cameras through incisions in Jessie's chest to assess the damage to her heart and the bearing it would have on her baby. But to their astonishment, it seems she'd made a miraculous escape.
The pole came within millimeters of her heart. It bruised the outside, and it came within a centimeter of her aorta, the major blood vessel.
Had that mic stand entered just a fraction to the left, it would have punctured her heart, killing her and her unborn child at scene. But the cameras now revealed a new danger.
This pole had, within the chest cavity, basically gone through the lung like this.
Astonishingly, that mic stand had skewered her left lung, popping it like a balloon. Unless the pole was pulled out and the lung repaired, Jessie and the fetus were doomed.
What happens is air will escape, the lung will collapse, and then the patient will basically suffocate because the lung doesn't work.
But suffocation wasn't the only danger. Blood from the damaged surface of the lung was accumulating in its interior, meaning sooner or later, the lung would flood, drowning Jessie in her own fluids.